Welcome back to the Construction Loan Financing channel. Let me start by telling you something right up front. If you're self-employed and you've been told by a lender you make good money, but your tax returns don't show enough, you are not alone. That happens all the time. And honestly, it's one of the most frustrating parts of trying to buy or build a home when you own a business. Today, I invited Melissa to the show, who just finished building her custom home.
Thanks for inviting me, David. I went through this process myself with another lender and I was sitting there like, hold on, I'm doing well, my business is healthy, cash flow is solid, and you're telling me I can't qualify because of how I file taxes. That made no sense to me.
Exactly. That's the self-employed puzzle. A lot of successful business owners reduce taxable income with legal write-offs, and then the old-school underwriting system looks at the tax return and acts like your actual life doesn't exist. But the reality is, your bank statements often tell a much better story than a tax form does.
And that's what I loved about the process when I came to you. You didn't start with a bunch of judgment. You didn't talk to me like I was doing something wrong because I own a business. You just said, let's look at the cash flow and see what we can do. That right there made me breathe easier.
That's the whole point. For self-employed borrowers, the right loan strategy should reflect real business performance. If your deposits are consistent, your revenue is stable, and your business has been running for a while, then there may be a strong path forward using bank statement income instead of forcing everything through tax returns.
And the best part was how straightforward it felt. I had expected some huge mess. You know how people make mortgage stuff sound like it takes a PhD and a miracle? But once we got rolling, it was way smoother than I expected. I was shocked to see that because of my good credit, I could build a home with this loan for only 10% down.
That's because bank statement lending is built for people like you. It uses 12 to 24 months of personal or business bank statements to help determine income. Instead of relying only on tax returns, we review your real-world cash flow and average the deposits over time.
Which makes way more sense. I mean, if I'm bringing money in every month and my business is steady, why should one tax filing erase all of that?
It shouldn't, and that's why this kind of financing has become such a strong tool for self-employed home buyers. It can help business owners, contractors, consultants, and entrepreneurs qualify when traditional lenders just can't see the full picture.
So for people listening right now, if you're self-employed and you've already been turned down, don't just assume that's the end of it.
Exactly. And if you're trying to get ahead of the game, call 888-857-8041 and let's take a look at your situation before you waste time spinning your wheels. The sooner you know where you stand, the sooner you can move.
I'm telling you, that's the move. Don't wait until you've fallen in love with a house or house plan, and then find out your paperwork is the problem. Get ahead of it now. Call 888-857-8041 and get the numbers checked early.
A lot of borrowers assume they need perfect tax returns to buy a home. That is just not true. With the right program, we can often use the strength of your deposits instead of making your tax return the only thing that matters.
That was the huge shift for me. I had spent years hearing no from people who only wanted to see my tax return. Nobody wanted to look at how my business actually worked. And once somebody finally did, it was like, oh, okay, now this makes sense.
And that's why this conversation matters. Self-employed borrowers are not a niche group anymore. There are millions of people running businesses, freelancing, contracting, consulting, and building real income outside a W-2 paycheck. Mortgage underwriting had to evolve, and bank statement loans are part of that evolution.
Let's talk about what you guys are really looking for, because people always want to know that. It's not just do you have money, it's more like, is the money steady? Is it real? Is the business actually operating consistently?
That's exactly right. We want to see stable or increasing deposits, a history of self-employment, and accounts that reflect actual business activity. Depending on the program, they may review business bank statements or personal bank statements, and in some cases, both.
And when you say 12 to 24 months, that matters too. Because having more history can show stability, right?
Yes. More months can help show the pattern of income over time. If a borrower has 24 months of strong deposits, that can make the picture even clearer. We may average the deposits to determine a monthly qualifying income figure.
I remember that part. It wasn't some random guess. It was actual math based on what was coming through the account.
Right. And for business accounts, some programs apply an expense factor to estimate business costs. That keeps the numbers realistic. For personal accounts, the treatment can be different depending on the program. But the main idea stays the same. Use the cash flow to understand the borrower.
That feels fair. Honestly, way fairer than pretending a tax return tells the whole story.
It often doesn't. Tax returns can be useful for some borrowers, but for many self-employed people, they understate the real income picture because legitimate business write-offs lower the number on paper.
That's exactly what happened to me. My accountant was doing a great job, by the way, but the tax strategy that helped me keep more money in the business ended up making me look weak to conventional lenders.
That is the classic self-employed trade-off. You run your business smart, but then the conventional mortgage process doesn't reward you for it. The good news is, there are solutions built specifically to deal with that situation.
And that's where the peace of mind came from. I didn't feel like I had to explain my whole life story just to prove I'm a responsible borrower.
Exactly. The process should be about finding the right loan fit, not putting a successful business owner through unnecessary hoops. That's why bank statement home loans are so useful for self-employed borrowers who want to buy a personal residence without being trapped by tax return underwriting.
And let's be real, buying a home is emotional. It's not just numbers. It's your future, your family, your stability, your space. When somebody tells you no for the wrong reason, it hits harder than people realize.
Absolutely. And that's why I always tell borrowers, don't settle for the first answer if the first answer doesn't make sense. If you're self-employed, your income needs to be reviewed in the right way. Sometimes that means bank statements, sometimes it means another alternative documentation path, but the point is to evaluate the real borrower, not just the tax return.
So what should somebody do first if they're listening and thinking, that sounds like me?
First, get organized. Pull together your last 12 to 24 months of personal or business bank statements. Second, be ready to explain how your business operates. Third, call us at 888-857-8041 so we can look at the income picture and see what type of loan structure makes sense.
And don't overthink it before you call. I almost did that. I was going to wait until everything was perfect. Huge mistake. The call got the ball rolling way faster than I expected.
That's the key. Don't sit on the sidelines wondering if you qualify. Let's look at the file and find out. If you're already running a solid business, there may be a lot more buying power there than you think.
I also think people get scared because they hear terms like bank statement loan and assume it means complicated or risky. But it wasn't like that at all.
Not at all. It's simply a different way of verifying income. Instead of using tax returns as the primary source, we use bank statements to understand the borrower's cash flow. It's especially helpful for people whose income is real but not easily shown on a standard pay stub.
And that's a lot of business owners, contractors, real estate investors, consultants, salon owners, restaurant owners, truckers, small agency owners, all kinds of people.
Exactly. If your money comes in through your business and your tax return doesn't tell the whole story, bank statement financing may be the better fit.
And let's not forget timing. If somebody's waiting because they think the perfect moment will magically show up, that's usually how good opportunities get missed.
That's true. The market moves, rates change, property values shift, and life doesn't wait. If you know you want to buy a home, the smartest thing you can do is get prepped now. Call 888-857-8041 and start the conversation before the next opportunity passes you by.
I love that, because once you know your numbers, you can move with confidence instead of guessing.
Exactly. Clarity changes everything. Once the income is reviewed properly, the whole process becomes easier to navigate.
And when you've got someone like you guys who actually understands self-employed income, that matters. You feel it immediately.
You do. And I think that's what made your experience so smooth. You had good business cash flow, you had the right documentation, and once we matched that with the right loan strategy, the path became a lot clearer.
It really did. I was relieved because I finally felt like somebody was on my side instead of just reading off a checklist.
That's the goal. You want a professional who listens, understands the business side, and knows how to structure the file correctly.
And for anybody listening, if you've got stable income, don't let one bad conversation with a lender make you quit. It just means you need a lender like David's team that understands how your business generates income.
Exactly. One no is not the final word. If your business is healthy and your deposits support the story, there may absolutely be a way forward.
So call them. Seriously. Call David and his team at 888-857-8041 and get the conversation started.
Yes, and if you're self-employed, don't wait until the deadline pressure is on. Start now so you have options.
I'm glad I did. It made everything less stressful.
That's what the right financing process should do: reduce stress, not add to it. And for self-employed borrowers using bank statement income, that's exactly what this kind of loan can help accomplish.
Totally. You do the work running your business. The loan process should not be the thing that breaks your spirit.
Well said. If you're ready, reach out now. Let's see what your bank statements say about your real income and whether we can turn that into a strong home loan application.
And if you're still on the fence, just remember this. If your business is doing well, your mortgage should reflect that.
Absolutely. Call 888-857-8041 and let's get to work. For more helpful videos on how we can help you achieve your dream home, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Also, put your questions below in the comment section. Don't forget to call us at 888-857-8041.